All right, in this forecast, we are locked right now between two opposing forces in the atmosphere that are parked right over us. It's the reason why it's been so windy along the coast. It's also the reason why we are about to hit 80 degrees again for the daytime high. These two forces are like on opposing ends of us. So you can see what we've got here is an area of low pressure parked off to our east. We've got an area of high pressure right off the coast. Air is rising over here. Air is sinking over here. We're caught in the middle. And when that happens, let's take a high look down. What you're going to see is the influence this has on the wind direction along the coast. And what we've got right now off the coast here is a very forceful flow coming out of the north like this, trying to split the difference between the center of high pressure over here and the low over here. This at least explains why it was so windy along the coast today. But when we get to Saturday, this one's going to dominate. We're going to see this one fade and move off to the east. And this one's going to slide in to take its place, and that's when we're going to 80. And we're also going to start to experience some of the offshore winds. Let's take a look at a closer look to home. And you can see the impact this is having now. If you just look at the microclimates in terms of the impact from a strong northerly wind like this, a closer look at SFO, you can see the gap right here. San Bruno Gap today, the winds coming directly out of the northwest as they are, it almost hit 40 again today because we're still in that pattern where the wind's coming down from the northwest. It was windy in places, it just wasn't that windy. The topography really determines how strongly you feel the wind on a day like today. All right, now we're going to transition this. We'll say goodbye to today's numbers. Keep your eye down here along the peninsula and Skyline Boulevard because I'm going to transition this from today to Saturday. And you're going to notice the winds are going to shift. All of a sudden, it's going to reverse. And you're going to see offshore winds start to take hold here. You really see it up and down the peninsula. You see it here as it's coming out the Golden Gate. And the real main indicator of this is how the winds behave differently. When we get offshore winds like that, they hit the mountains a lot harder. And they don't necessarily get felt as strongly down at the lower elevations where we all live. Look at Mount St. Helena on Saturday. 40-mile-an-hour gusts up there. And our locator for the microclimate that's getting hit the hardest today, it's still going to be windy on Saturday, but it's only a 20-mile-an-hour wind. This is different. What this does, offshore winds like this, you can see the way the winds are moving through the bay. They're coming from out here in the Central Valley. They're really rushing down from the Sacramento Valley, squeezing over the ridgetops, coming out through the Golden Gate. That's how you warm up and dry out. Drying out's going to be a concern when we get later into the year because this is how we get into fire weather. That is not our concern right now. Landscape is way too green. Still looks like Ireland out there. So the air will feel drier if you're sensitive to that on Saturday and Sunday. But it is the warm-up that's going to make the headlines. Let's start out in Monterey, Salinas, Santa Cruz. Your numbers are going up. It's going to be in the near 80 in Salinas. It'll be in the mid-70s at the beach in Santa Cruz on Saturday. It'll be 80 in San Jose, or at least right on that mark. It'll be 81 in Livermore. And let's get up towards the North Bay. And on that journey, there's San Francisco going to 70. And there's another day where we're going to be sitting just about 2 degrees shy of a daytime high for the North Bay by the time we make it to the weekend. All right, so we'll sit there for a few days. Saturday and Sunday are almost identical. And then we will cool down a bit. If you want to be technical about it, we're still going to be above average. Should be low 60s here to mid 60s at most. We at least bring the numbers down a bit, but we're not going to stay long because there's another warm-up by the time we get to the middle of next week, and no rain.